What are the different ways that I can sell my home? If you're thinking this might be the time, I want to sell my house now, I have the perfect guest for you. This is Vicky Webster. She is with Tall Poppy. She's a real estate agent. And if you don't know who I am Jackie Elias, the Future Bound CEO, where we help you get mortgage and financially free. I've asked Vicky today to talk a little bit about the different ways to sell your home so you can make the best informed decision to do that. Because sometimes people think one way is better than the other, don't they, Vicky? And they might not be right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has to be what suits you. So yeah, definitely look at all the options.
Yeah, so what are the options people can choose from?
You can start off with just a very basic going to market with a price, where you put a price out in your marketing. It lets buyers know what the budget is, where you're expecting it to be, right through to auctions and tenders where obviously there's no price given. So if we start with maybe an auction, they can be quite scary for people. Lots of people don't understand the process. In some markets and in some houses, an auction is a great way to sell your house. Associated costs with that you have to think about. Obviously, your lawyer needs to draw up your auction paperwork, and you also have to pay for an auctioneer's fee. So just a couple of little hidden costs in there. But great way to do it. They are open, so anyone can bid at an auction. So it means you get the best of everyone out there. Usually unconditional offers. So if you are looking for something to be sold hopefully relatively quickly, they will be unconditional offers. Once the hammer drops, you're sold. If that's what you're looking for, then auction's a good option.
Right, so maybe the quick sell, but what about pricing? You say, I want the highest price. Are you for sure going to get that in an auction, or is it a gamble?
It's a gamble. In an auction, obviously, the bidding will stop when the last person bids, and you never know what the people in the room's their top budget is. So if you're down to one or two bidders and someone pulls out, and the person that puts in their final bid, they might sort of say, well, actually, I was prepared to pay $10, $20, $50, $100,000 more for that property. But if they've got no one to bid against, they'll get it for the top bid. So yes, it can be a gamble that you're not getting the best out of everybody, but it will be an unconditional offer and you will be sold when that hammer drops. You've got to weigh out what's best for you.
So what are some other ways?
Some other ways, could look at a tender, which again usually attracts unconditional offers. You can put in a conditional offer on a tender. There's no price guide obviously given on a tender, so you have to do your homework as a buyer and decide what you feel a house is worth. Tenders are normally closed and opened by the agent with the clients at the end of the tender, unless they can be sold prior where they can look at them. Normally you let a tender run through right to the end to see what offers you get, and because no one knows what anyone else's offer is, you're not in a room sort of publicly going at it together. The buyer then has to put down what they feel is their best offer. So that can be a really good way of getting the top offer out of someone.
Right, and if you need speed, can you get that? Can you say we're only accepting unconditional offers, or can the vendor decide what kind of offers, or are they just kind of picking from whoever is putting in the tender?
When you run a tender, you want to see what everyone puts in, but yes, you don't have to accept any tenders. You can say there's nothing there I like, or you can then choose to negotiate with one. Maybe they're just slightly off on price, or maybe they're quite highly conditional but a fantastic price. You can still go back and sort of negotiate it with. As a vendor, you don't have to accept any offer. You can say, nope, there's nothing there I like. A tender normally runs for a short time period as well, so it actually puts that little bit of market pressure on people to put their offer in, rather than if it's just by price or negotiation, they might just take their time, sort of say, oh yes, I might be interested, but I might look at another property as well. With a tender or a deadline, they know if they want to have an option of buying that property, they have to have that offer in. So it does encourage people to get their offers in so that you've got a choice of looking at what you get them.
Right, and so is that where you're seeing people put buyer inquiry over, or can you sell your house? Like, is that a different way of selling your house?
No, that's a different way again. Tender's got no price on it, so they have to put in what they feel is their best offer. Tenders can be a little bit daunting, like auctions for buyers. A lot of people, as I said, don't understand and they get a bit scared of them. I mean, they are scary things. Nobody wants to feel like they've scratched their nose and bought a house. But you can do a deadline sale, which runs along a similar line as a tender. It's run for a short time period, and again, people are encouraged to put their offers in. They can be conditional, which is great for first home buyers or people that just, for whatever reason can't be a cash offer. So it runs along the same lines, and then again, as a vendor, you have the choice to either accept one of those offers or negotiate with one. Most people will say, well, I just want the top offer, because we all want the top offer for our house, right? That's our castle. Absolutely. But when you actually sit down and break it down, sometimes that top price that comes in isn't always the best offer for you. It might be subject to another house for sale. It might be subject to a whole raft of conditions, and any one of those conditions can fall over and you lose that offer. Could fall over on a builder's report, or their finance might not stack up. When people say, oh, I just want the top price and I want to sell my house for the most, you actually have to just take a breath and look at all the offers that are put in front of you and actually realize what one's going to suit you best. And it may be that you decide for $10,000 less, an offer that's only got sort of 3 days finance, insurance and builder's report might actually be better than one that's $10,000 more with a whole raft of conditions. So again, with the deadline, people put their offers in, then you get to have a look at all of them and then make those informed choices, have discussions with whoever you need to have and with your agent.
Awesome. So what I hear is when you are selling your home, how you choose to sell it really has to do with what you're looking for at a grander scheme, not just the price, right? So you
Correct.
Talk to your agent that will help you make those decisions, right? That's why we have you, Vicky.
Yep. Correct, because not every method suits everyone. And then of course you can just have a price on there. With a price, we're bound by obligations within the law and things. If we put a price on a property, those vendors must give serious consideration to an offer that comes in at that price. They don't have to accept it, but let's say we put 550,000, buyer inquiry 550 on a property, or 550. If we brought you an offer of 549, 548, and you said, oh, actually I want 580, then that becomes bait advertising. So we would then have to change that advertising to say it's now buyer inquiry or price of 580. You can't sort of drag people in with a low price and then say, well, actually, no, we've changed our mind, we want this. So pricing, if you see a price on a property, they should give it serious consideration at that price. It may be that you're very heavily conditional and they can sort of say, well, actually, for all those conditions, we'd want 10,000 more, but they do have to give it serious consideration. They can't just turn around and say, oh no, I want 100 grand more, or anything like that. At least if you see a price on a property, you do know that it's going to be within your budget approximately. If you've got a budget of 550, you can actually have a look at that property because it will go somewhere around that. That's not to say that someone won't come along and put in 580 and feel that that's what they want to pay for it, but at least you know that it's in the realms of your budget and what you're looking at.
Yeah, awesome. So if people are wondering, hey, look, I actually live in Upper Hutt and I'd love to talk to Vicky to see if she'd be the right person to sell my home, how would you like them to get in contact with you?
They can give me a call, and my number's 027 7288997, or they can email me, and it's vicky.webster@tallpoppy.co.nz, or they can go on the website and they can send you a link to my website. And yeah, look, we appraise properties all the time. We're happy to give service appraisals. Sometimes people just have an itch and they think, oh, I wonder what my house is worth. I'm happy to come and have a look and just give you an idea of where it sits in the market. And we've had a really tough few years where we've had ridiculously high prices and then really, really low prices. A lot of people now have got sort of no idea where their house sits and what it could possibly be worth. So we are doing lots of service appraisals and giving people an idea. But yeah, Upper Hutt's growing. Our market seems pretty steady. So we're back to what we were pre-COVID if you take out the crazy years in between.
Thank you, Vicky. And if you are wondering, hey, look, I need to know how much I can borrow, whether you're selling your home and buying another one, or you're actually just wanting to buy either your first home or an investment property, please do book a 15-minute mortgage phone chat where we can just look big picture over your situation and let you know how likely it is for you to be able to borrow and get it pre-approved for the amount that you need to get the house that you want. Until next time, we'll see you.
For more financial tips, advice, and education, subscribe to us on YouTube, and don't forget to hit that notification bell.